The Las Vegas Raiders have made their move, and it's the kind of move that shakes the entire NFL to its core. An $80 million offer for Shedeur Sanders, a rookie quarterback already signed to the Cleveland Browns. This isn't a rumor. This isn't a leak meant to stir headlines. This is real, and it's unlike anything we've seen before. Rookie quarterbacks don't get offers like this. Not from rival teams, not at this scale, and certainly not before their first regular season snap. The Raiders aren't making a bid for the future. They're going straight for the throat, demanding Sanders now. If you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed, no matter the cost. For Cleveland, the timing couldn't be worse. This offseason was built around Sanders. His arrival was a franchise's answer to decades of instability, false promises, and quarterback carousels. Fans were finally buying in. The organization was marketing him as the savior. And training camp only added fuel to the belief. Sanders looked poised, polished, and every bit the leader Cleveland had been searching for. But the Raiders seemed more than just a promising young quarterback. To them, Shedeur Sanders is infrastructure. He's not only the guy who can win games on Sundays, he's the face that can turn Las Vegas into a football empire. In a city built on entertainment, Sanders represents the perfect blend of talent, charisma, and marketability. His name sells tickets. His presence draws cameras. His brand expands beyond football into merchandise, media, and culture. That's why the $80 million figure matters so much. It's not just a contract. It's a declaration of intent. It's the Raiders saying, we're willing to rewrite the rules of NFL business if it means getting Sanders in silver and black. It's also a message to Cleveland, a not-so-subtle reminder that their rookie savior might already be too big for them to contain. The Browns now face the unthinkable. Their future franchise quarterback is at the center of a bidding war they never saw coming. And the league? It's watching every second unfold. Because if the Raiders succeed, the NFL landscape changes forever. This is no longer about one player's value. This is about control, about leverage, and about how far a desperate franchise will go to get the man they believe can define their next decade. The Raiders didn't just make an offer. They fired the first shot. Suddenly, the Browns weren't in control of their future anymore. Let that sink in. A billion-dollar NFL franchise absolutely shook because one 22-year-old quarterback chose not to slam the door shut on his own destiny. We'll see what happens. That sentence triggered boardroom meetings, internal power struggles, maybe even a few panic texts to ownership. You just know Jimmy Haslam had a one-on-one sit-down with Shedeur's camp that very night. Because the stakes here aren't just about one player. They're about precedent. If Shedeur successfully uses an external offer to renegotiate or reposition himself mid-rookie deal, that's the first domino. That's the blueprint. And the NFL knows it. Rookie contracts were supposed to be ironclad, predictable, controlled. You draft your guy, pay him pennies compared to veterans, develop him quietly, and hope he earns a big payday later. But Shedeur skipped all that. He came in with leverage. And the wildest part? It's not even just about football. This whole situation has transcended sports. It's become cultural. Every major media outlet is talking about it. Sports podcasts are breaking down Shedeur's business strategy like he's a Fortune 500 CEO. Social media is ablaze with memes, theories, and debates. He's not just a quarterback anymore. He's a case study. And while the Browns are trying to keep the wheels from flying off, Shedeur is proving something massive. Marketability is power. We're watching the first real-time clash between traditional football culture and the new age athlete brand. And spoiler alert, the old guard is losing. Because this isn't about loyalty. It's not about playbooks. It's not even about wins and losses. It's about agency. It's about a player who understands that he's the asset, not just on the field, but across platforms. In the NFL's archaic playbook, players were supposed to be grateful for the spotlight. Now, the spotlight follows Shedeur wherever he goes. He doesn't need a team to elevate him. He elevates the team. That's why the Raiders are betting big. They know that Shedeur brings eyeballs, engagement, relevance, A whole generation of fans that care as much about what's happening between games as what's happening on the field. And Cleveland? They're trying to navigate a storm they didn't see coming. Internally, this has sparked chaos. Reports, unconfirmed but entirely believable, suggest there's friction between front office figures. Stefanski's reportedly frustrated. Andrew Barry's scrambling for options. Haslam's playing both PR manager and damage control czar. They thought they had time. Time to build. Time to lock Shedeur into their system. Time to shape him into their quarterback. Instead, he's shaping them, forcing them to pivot, reconsider, bend. And that's a power very few players ever have, let alone rookies. The NFL is watching this unfold like a thriller, popcorn in hand, because what happens next might determine how rookies are treated for the next decade. If Shedeur holds out and wins, whether by staying and getting a king's ransom or leaving and reshaping a new franchise from scratch, it changes everything. Every young quarterback will see that it's possible to own your career from day one. Every team will be forced to reconsider how much control they really have. This isn't a contract negotiation. It's a power reallocation. And that has the NFL shaking in its cleats. It's already prompted back-channel conversations across the league. GMs are panicking about how to market-proof their rookies. PR teams are spinning up contingency plans in case this becomes a trend. The old guard owners? Furious, because this isn't what they signed up for. They want athletes, not entrepreneurs. But Shedeur? He's both. So where does this all end? Let's lay out the possibilities. Shedeur stays in Cleveland, but not before forcing the Browns to come back to the table and rethink everything. New guarantees, bigger media commitments, possibly even brand equity plays. If that happens, he becomes the first rookie to rewrite the rookie deal playbook in real time. Shedeur jumps ship. The Raiders go full Vegas, back to Brink's truck up, and give him not just a contract, but a platform. Think LeBron-level brand autonomy. Think executive producer credits. Think player/partner status. Shedeur plays a long game. He keeps everyone guessing, lets the chaos swirl, and finishes his rookie year in Cleveland while building the most powerful media ecosystem around a rookie in NFL history. Then in year 2, boom, move, shock, dominate. Whichever path he picks, he's changed the trajectory for every rookie after him. The NFL is no longer just about 40-yard dash times, Wonderlic scores, and post-game interviews. It's about control, identity, ownership. And Shedeur Sanders? He's the first to fully weaponize that from day one. So while execs scramble and fans debate, remember, this isn't the end of the story. It's the beginning of an entirely new era. Shedeur didn't just break the system. He reprogrammed it. If you're here for the chaos, the power shifts, and the rise of the quarterback who turned an $80 million offer into a movement, you're in the right place. Sound off in the comments. Should Shedeur take the bag and head to Vegas? Or stay and reshape Cleveland into his own personal empire? And if you want to be first in line for the next twist in this football soap opera, hit that subscribe button. Because in a league built on order, Shedeur Sanders just introduced disruption. And we're all just watching him play. In a league obsessed with systems, silence, and knowing your place, here comes a rookie quarterback flipping the entire establishment on its head like it's just another day at practice. You ever see a rookie negotiate with silence? Make 2 NFL teams, billion-dollar institutions, pause their entire operations because he said 5 words? We'll see what happens. You'd think he declared free agency on national television. You'd think he burned a jersey on Instagram Live. But nope, just vibes, just ambiguity, just pure strategic control. And you know what? It's genius. Because the beauty of what Shedeur is doing is that he's not even doing much publicly. He's not ranting, not demanding trades, not stirring drama directly. He's just existing at a level so powerful that the league's entire foundation is shifting beneath him. This isn't just a negotiation. It's narrative manipulation at the highest level. Let's be honest, most rookie quarterbacks come into the NFL with one mission: survive, learn the playbook, earn the coach's trust, avoid being replaced by week 10. But Shedeur? He walked into this league like it was his boardroom. The media wrapped around his finger. Franchises scrambling to understand how to contain his influence. Fans, completely divided, half in awe, half in fear that this is the death of real football. And through it all, Shedeur hasn't said anything inflammatory. He hasn't promised anything. He hasn't even leaned in. All he did was leave the door open just enough for the light to pour in and let the world speculate. And that's the move. Because speculation, it's louder than any press conference. Ambiguity, that's the new power currency. Let's be clear. This is Shedeur's moment, and he's not wasting it. Not just for a payday. Not just for leverage. But for position. See, most players wait for the league to tell them who they are. Not Shedeur. He's defining himself in real time. Not as a cog in someone else's machine, but as the machine itself. He's playing the media, playing the market, playing two franchises off each other, like it's a well-rehearsed script. And meanwhile, he's still performing like a top-tier quarterback in camp, hitting receivers, running drills, staying focused. There's no scandal, no bad attitude, no fines, just pressure, pure, targeted pressure. And Cleveland? They're cracking. Behind closed doors, the Browns organization is in DEFCON mode. They've gone from hopeful to desperate in a matter of weeks. You know the vibes. Meetings behind closed doors. Whispers from agents. Coaches pretending everything is fine in interviews while privately asking, is it over already? Because they know, if they lose Shedeur, it's not just a bad look. It's a legacy stain. Another chapter in Cleveland's heartbreak history. Another elite quarterback slipping through their fingers. And the fans? They're already spiraling, scouring every detail in Shedeur's pressers, breaking down his body language like it's a Zapruder film. Did he smile when they mentioned Vegas? Was that nod an actual signal? Why is he wearing Raiders colors in that photo? People are spiraling. And honestly, that's the point. The chaos isn't just collateral. It's currency. The more uncertainty Shedeur creates, the more leverage he builds, the more power he holds. It's psychological warfare in cleats. And let's not forget, this is happening before he's even thrown a regular season pass. Think about what that says. This kid's influence is already breaking systems that were built to last decades. He's forcing a conversation the league did not want to have about rookie rights, marketability, branding, and player empowerment. And the Raiders? Oh, they knew exactly what they were doing. This wasn't a desperate franchise throwing money at a hot name. This was a calculated, aggressive, disruptive strike, the NFL's version of a hostile takeover. Because Vegas doesn't want a quarterback. They want a franchise reboot. They want lights, attention, storylines, and youth culture. They want Gen Z's quarterback, the one with millions of followers, the one who can throw deep and go viral. And Shedeur, he checks every box. So while Cleveland's still trying to figure out how to adapt his energy, the Raiders are building for it. The contrast is painful. You've got one team desperately trying to make the future fit into the past, and another team building the future around one man. And Shedeur, he's standing right in the middle, cool, composed, completely in control. If he stays in Cleveland, it'll be on his terms. Forget the traditional timeline. Forget prove it, then get paid. That model is extinct the second you realize your value doesn't depend on someone else's approval. Shedeur doesn't need the Browns to validate him. He is the value. The sooner they realize that, the better. But the clock is ticking. Because let's be real, this isn't just Shedeur's moment. It's a cultural turning point. It's the NFL's wake-up call. We are officially in the player power era. Contracts? Not sacred. Loyalty? Not blind. Rookies? Not silent. And that's a scary prospect for a league built on structure and control. But for fans? For future athletes? For anyone watching the tectonic plates of power shift in real time? This is thrilling. Because what Shedeur Sanders is doing, it's not just smart. It's historic. He's changed the rules before the game even started. He's shown that you don't have to wait to be great. That you don't have to be quiet to be respected. That you don't have to choose between being a quarterback and being a brand. You can be both. And the world? It better get used to it. Because even if Shedeur never says another word on the topic, He's already said everything. So whether he stays in Cleveland, rolls the dice in Vegas, or pulls off a play we haven't even seen coming, he's already won something far more important than a contract: control. And in the modern NFL, that's the ultimate currency. This isn't just about Shedeur anymore. It's about what he represents. Because the second that $80 million offer became public knowledge, and let's be honest, that leak wasn't accidental. The entire landscape of the NFL shifted. You could feel it, like tectonic plates grinding under pressure, shaking the foundations of every old-school assumption about how this league is supposed to operate. Think about it. One rookie quarterback, has done more to destabilize traditional NFL power structures than a dozen collective bargaining agreements. And he didn't even have to yell. He didn't have to protest. He didn't demand a trade or skip practice or write a long-winded Players Tribune essay. He just looked the media dead in the eye and said, "We'll see what happens." Iconic. That line might as well be engraved on the tombstone of the NFL's old way of doing business. Because here's the reality no one in the front office wants to say out loud. The NFL has lost control of the narrative. They used to own it. They built it. The draft was sacred. Rookie deals were fixed. Players were grateful, obedient, desperate for longevity. Every contract was a reward for loyalty and silence. Every rising star knew that if they made noise too early, they could be labeled a problem, entitled, uncoachable. And now, Shedeur's out here making noise before he's even taken a regular season snap. And not only is he not being punished for it, he's winning, because the fans love it. The media eats it up. And the brands? Oh, the brands are lining up. He's what happens when you mix elite athleticism with generational media awareness. He's the future. And the league has two choices: adapt or be left behind. Because if Shedeur pulls this off, and let's be real, even if he doesn't, the damage is done. The blueprint is out there. Other players are watching. Other agents are watching. Other rookies are about to walk into training camp next year fully aware that they're not just players anymore. They're leverage. They're assets. They're their own economy. And the question becomes, how many franchises are actually ready for that? Let's look at the two sides of this thing again. Cleveland. The Browns are in the eye of the storm. They finally have a quarterback who could break the cycle of mediocrity, who could lift them out of decades of dysfunction. And now, they're at risk of losing him not because of performance, but because they fail to realize he's not just a player, he's a brand. This isn't about football IQ or training reps. This is about Cleveland still playing analog ball in a digital league. They're scrambling now, you can tell, trying to reassure the media that everything's fine, while insiders are leaking words like discomfort and reassessment and internal realignment. Translation: chaos. Ownership is likely in DEFCON 2. Management is probably considering moves they swore they'd never make: early extensions, profit-sharing incentives, off-field revenue guarantees, just to keep their golden goose from flying to Vegas in a private jet. And honestly, it might already be too late, because once a player knows he holds the power, you can't put that toothpaste back in the tube. Then there's Vegas. The Raiders saw the future, and they tried to buy it. And whether or not they land Shedeur, they've made a clear declaration. They are ready to play the game differently. They're not offering $80 million because they're desperate. They're offering it because they understand that in 2025, a quarterback isn't just a field general. He's a walking content platform. He's a brand deal magnet. He's a jersey-selling, stadium-filling, attention-grabbing media property. And Shedeur is all of that. Add that to a franchise trying to reignite relevance in one of the most spectacle-driven cities in the world. It's a match made in viral heaven. What the Raiders did, really, is challenge the very definition of value in the NFL. Because while Cleveland is still measuring player value in yards and completions, Vegas is measuring it in impressions and impact. It's a whole new metric, and it's not going away. So what happens next? Well, let's game it out. Scenario 1, Shedeur stays. He gets the Browns to pony up. Massive renegotiation, maybe even historical in its structure. Guaranteed money. Creative control. A contract that reads more like a joint venture than a standard deal. He becomes the first player to rewrite a rookie contract from within. Cleveland spins it as commitment to the future. Everyone pretends this was normal, but behind the scenes, panic, because now every high-profile rookie knows it's possible. Scenario 2, Shedeur walks. He accepts a Vegas offer, or another one even spicier. The NFL scrambles. Emergency meetings. Owners furious. Players watching with eyes wide open. It becomes the biggest rookie departure in league history. The Browns enter a tailspin. The Raiders become the most watched team in America overnight. Scenario 3, he does neither. He plays the season out, keeps balling, keeps winning, keeps smiling for the camera while both teams sweat. Lets the story drag out just long enough to become an unstoppable force by next season. Then he makes a move when the power is truly at its peak. Honestly, that might be the most dangerous play of all, because the longer Shedeur lets this unfold, the more control he gains. Every highlight reel adds value. Every cryptic comment adds fuel. Every ignored question becomes a headline. It's mastery, and it's terrifying for the old school, because they don't know how to fight this. They know how to deal with injuries, holdouts, bad stats, drama. But this is polished, controlled, strategic. This is a player who doesn't need the league as much as the league needs him. So now here's the real question. What happens when this becomes normal? When the next Shedeur comes in, 21 years old, already has a brand deal with Nike, a YouTube channel with 500K subs, and a PR team bigger than the one managing his franchise. Do teams start bidding before the draft even ends? Do contracts come with streaming rights and social clauses? Do players start choosing teams based not on coaching or legacy, but on exposure potential? Welcome to the new NFL. You thought the drama was on the field? Nah, it's in the negotiations. It's in the silence. It's in the 5 words that started a league-wide identity crisis. We will see what happens. Shedeur Sanders didn't just say it. He meant it. And the rest of us? We're just watching the empire bend. If you're still riding this wild ride, tell us what you think in the comments. Should Shedeur stay and force Cleveland into the modern age, or cash in and start a media empire in Vegas? And don't forget to subscribe for more chaos, contracts, and quarterback culture clashes. Because let's be real, this isn't the end. This is only the first quarter.